When we think about retirement, it's so easy to just get lost in all the numbers, right? The spreadsheets, the financial statements. But what if we started with a different picture? A life that's not just secure, but one that's filled with passion, creativity, and a real sense of purpose. Today, we're going to explore how to fund that exact vision and do it in a way that lines up perfectly with your principles. Let's dive in.
Just imagine it for a second. Instead of the same old daily grind, you're picking up a watercolor brush, maybe for the very first time. You're actually stepping outside, you're looking at the world around you, and you're capturing it on paper. This isn't about ending something, it's about starting a brand new creative journey. It's about tuning out all the noise and tuning into your own creativity. That's the masterpiece we're talking about funding.
Okay, so that's the why. A retirement that's just bursting with purpose and passion. But of course, that beautiful vision leads to a very practical question. How in the world do you pay for the paint, the brushes, and most importantly, the peace of mind to enjoy it all? This is where the plan comes in.
And here it is. This is the central question we're tackling today. We tend to keep our financial life in one box and our ethical life in a totally separate one. But what if we didn't have to do that? What if your pension plan could be a direct reflection of the principles you try to live by every single day?
Well, the answer is something called values-based investing. The best way to think of it is as a bridge. It's the bridge that connects your personal convictions, what you really believe in, to your financial strategy. It's a way to make sure that the money you're putting away for your future is actually out there in the world doing work you can feel proud of.
So what's the real difference here? Well, as you can see, a conventional approach, it pretty much has one goal: maximize profit, period. But a values-based approach, it's got a dual mandate. It absolutely aims for competitive, long-term returns. But, and this is key, it does it all within a strict ethical framework. It's all about pursuing prosperity without compromising on your principles.
And this principled approach, it isn't some super complicated thing. In fact, it's built on just a few core, easy-to-understand concepts that guide every single investment decision. Let's break down what they are. First, and this is the big one, is avoiding interest, or riba. In this model, money isn't made from just lending money. Instead, your returns come from sharing in the profits of real business activities and from the value of the assets themselves going up. It's a huge shift from being a lender to being a partner.
The second principle is active ethical screening. This is so crucial. It means every investment is carefully filtered to exclude entire industries that just don't align with these values. We're talking about things like alcohol, gambling, pork-related products, and of course, conventional banks that rely on interest.
And third, there's a focus on real, tangible assets. This means investing in things you can actually see and touch, like the buildings that bring in rental income, or the companies that are producing the goods and services that keep our economy moving. Okay, so we've got the principles down, but how does this system actually grow your pension? How does your contribution turn into a real retirement income that can fund that watercolor hobby we talked about? Let's get into the mechanics.
It's actually a really straightforward three-step process. Step 1. Your contributions are invested in a diverse mix of those ethically screened real assets. Step 2. Those assets get to work and generate real profits. Think rental income from properties or the earnings from a successful business. And then step 3, you get a share of those profits. That's your return. Simple as that. And this slide makes it super concrete. Over on the left, you see the kinds of investments your money goes into. For instance, Sukuk. They're kind of like bonds, but they're backed by real assets and don't involve interest. And on the right, you see the industries that are specifically kept out. This level of transparency is really at the heart of the whole approach.
All right, now that we've built this financial engine, let's connect it all the way back to the payoff, planning for your passion. Because a great strategy is only useful if it helps you live the life you actually want to live. And these days, we have some incredible tools to help us do exactly that.
So let's get a little strategic. It's not just about how you save, but also how you spend your money in retirement. There was actually this landmark research paper that studied the absolute best way to structure your withdrawals to make sure your savings last as long as you do.
And here's the key takeaway from that research, laid out perfectly right here. The researchers found that the best strategy is actually pretty simple. Line up your withdrawal plan with how long you expect to live. So if you're planning for another 30 years, your withdrawal strategy should match that. It's a simple trick that helps make sure your savings last for your entire retirement.
So how do you bring all of this together in the real world? First, you can leverage modern tools. There are online platforms that let you model your whole financial life and even build in charitable giving like zakat. These platforms can also connect you with financial pros for a strategy tailored just for you. And maybe most importantly, the best tools are flexible, they're designed to evolve right along with you as your life changes.
Which brings us right back to where we started. Your retirement really is a blank canvas. It's a massive opportunity to create something beautiful and meaningful. So the real question is, how are you going to fund your masterpiece?